Hello and welcome to Your Voice Matters TV with Di Riddell, the place to be for your voice to be heard. In this episode 6, we are going to be talking about decluttering. It's a word that gets thrown around and sometimes we take it for real and sometimes we don't. Well, I've taken it for real a couple of times when I was a bit of a hoarder. Now, when I first decided that I would do some decluttering, I was living in a house, a 1970s house on stilts. I managed upstairs very well, but downstairs was my sewing room, my craft room, and it was crammed full of everything that you can imagine. Many times I would go downstairs, I'd open the cupboard, and I'd think, oh, I can't face it. I just can't face it. So I did what any sensible person would do. I rang a girlfriend and said, would you come over and help me? Because I knew that she was no nonsense and there would be no messing about. It would be decision time. So we had 3 or 4 tubs. Everything came out of the cupboards. The process. Everything came out of the cupboards. We picked things up one at a time, and I made a decision. If I was keeping it, it went in the cupboard. If I wasn't keeping it, was it worthy to give away? Was it suitable for the Goodwill bin? Or did it go in the trash? So every time she picked an item up, and it took us 2 days, every time she picked something up and I'd say, oh, I'll just think about that. Will we put it up? No, we're not putting it on the table. We're making a decision. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me, because then later, when I went to do my next decluttering, I didn't need somebody else. I was well and truly capable of doing it myself. So what are the benefits of decluttering? I can remember years ago I did a session with a feng shui lady from Sydney, and she was talking about starting in the kitchen. So what she got me to do was to take everything out of my kitchen cupboards, wash it out with orange oil, line everything with yellow paper, bright yellow paper, and then throw out anything that was broken or that I didn't use and put it back in a different place. I spent the next week opening and shutting cupboards because I couldn't find anything. And I went back to her and I said, what is the deal with this? And she said, it makes you think differently. It makes you look at things from a different perspective. I thought, oh, okay. So about once a year, 2 years at the outside, I rearrange things in my kitchen. And it might only go from one shelf to the next, because sometimes the space you've got's the space you've got. But it's shifting things around. And then she told me to go to my bedroom and do exactly the same thing. So I shifted drawers around so that the undie drawers were at the bottom instead of the top. And the same with the other drawers. And it just gets you to look at things differently. And that was another good precursor to decluttering when it came time for me to move. Because I had lived in a home until 3 years ago. I was living in a home that was my marital home. I'd lived in it for 26 years, about 15 of those years on my own. And so I knew that I was going to be downsizing, so it came time to do the declutter again. And I was fine, until I got to my clothes. I got to my clothes and I'd take it out and I'd think, oh, it's too good to throw out. I might wear that. So I rang another trusted friend who's, again, straight down the line, and I said, come over and help me. So over she came, and we did the same thing, everything out of the wardrobe. And I went through it, and I did the same process with her. And she would ask me, and I did that, and she'd say, Di, how long was it since you've worn it? How good do you feel in it when you wear it? And I think that's it with our clothes. If you don't feel absolutely, clothes that make you feel absolutely wonderful, don't wear it, throw them out. Buy something else. Only buy and wear things that make you feel Fabulous. That's what it's all about. Absolutely. So that was again a way of me decluttering. So there might be just segments of our life, and it's very easy to say, oh, well, I'm no good at that. But it could be just one little area that you need a hand with. So never be afraid to put your hand up and say, please, please help me. Because friends love to help. They love to help. They love to be in there. And I think everyone loves decluttering. It's, oh, what you throwing out, I might scratch in there, and not be tempted to go through it later and think, oh, I might just take that one back. Now, of all the things, and I threw out a lot of things when I left my home in Nambour, there's only been a handful of things that I've thought, oh, I wonder where such and such is. And then I just thought, oh, well, must have gone out when I threw out. And there hasn't been one moment of angst of, oh dear, I'm really missing that, I wish I had that. It's just been an acceptance of, I've moved on with life. I don't need all that stuff anymore. And it's so freeing, absolutely so freeing. So just have to check the notes here. So, why do you clutter? Well, it gives you more space. It could be, it saves you money because you're not buying any more things. It could even make you money if you sell what you're going to throw out. It makes you more selective in what you choose. And I think it sharpens your taste because you know that there's only going to be so much. So you need that so much to really count. And those are the things that are beautiful to you. The colours, the textures, whatever it is that makes you feel wonderful. That's what life's all about. Feeling and looking and interacting with a beautiful space in ways that make you feel special. We've covered the thinking differently. Now, things about the bedroom. Things that we shouldn't, or shouldn't's a terrible word, things that we would be better off not having in our bedroom. Because our bedroom needs to be a place of calm and a place for sleep, a place for restoration, a place for meditating, not a place for worrying about what's going on. So when you think about if you're going to have a declutter, have a look around your bedroom. Make sure that you don't have bills and paperwork lying around that remind you that you've got to do this and you've got to do that, and maybe there's an account overdue. You don't need to do that when you're in bed. Technology. Don't take your technology to bed, having the phone there. And I'll just wake up in the middle of the night and just check Facebook and see who's responded to my latest pickies. And for me, that also goes for the television. I wouldn't have a television in my bedroom for the very same reason. Cut down on the clutter on your bedside table so that it's not all messy and gooey. And my challenge is not to have too many books. I'm an avid reader, and I'll quite often have 4 or 5 books on my bedside table. So try and limit yourself to 2 so that it's minimalist. When you walk into your room, it looks clean and fresh, and you're all ready to be relaxed. Avoid storing stuff under your bed because it's like shutting things in a cupboard that you don't actually want to deal with. Avoid having unwanted piles of clothes. If the clothes are dirty, put them in the dirty clothes basket. If they're not, put them in the ironing basket or hang them up. I know ironing, a lot of people today go ironing, oh no. But I love to iron my clothes because that's just who and what I am. But we're all different, but don't have them lying around just looking like an untidy heap. And if you've got unwanted things, don't pile them in the bedroom. Put them in a container and store them in the laundry, but make an action step to get rid of them. They're not there to pick out and drag back later. Decide, tomorrow I will take them to the Goodwill store, to the dump, to the church, or wherever you're going to dispose of what you don't want. Because what might be junk to you might be an absolute treasure to someone else. So when we look at the things about decluttering, it just makes you feel freer, more open, more available to what's out there. And I think it gives you a sense of calm and peace. I love to walk into my home and see the sense of order, the sense of space, and the sense of peace and relaxation. So they might be things that you might like to do. And decluttering is one of the things I discuss in my book, Speak Out. So Speak Out is speak out from suppression to expression in 9 vital steps. It is full of strategies, and decluttering is just a tiny piece of it. So if you'd like to have a look at that, and I'll just step forward and get it. Available from my website or through Facebook. Love to hear from you, love to hear some response back, and look forward to the next episode when it will be an interview. So until next time, cheerio, enjoy your decluttering and let your voice shine because the world needs to hear it. Cheerio.